Alright, just checking audio and movement. Okay, so due to some issues, it seems that the first 10 minutes of the stream were not archived properly, so I'm just gonna start over from the beginning. Now that they had a grip on the situation, Soichi's group moved fast. They decided to head for the top floor as soon as they could. There being a high possibility that everyone aside from them had chosen to fight, it was urgent that they got a head start on them and run to the non-combat areas. That way, the remaining players would have no choice but to negotiate with them. Soichi's team not only wasn't exactly physically strong, but they had injured people in it, so that was the only certain method they had. They also spent a long time on the second floor. That was why they had to hurry upstairs as well. They were worried about Reika moving since she was injured, but they were already going slow as it was in order to keep an eye out for any traps. Thanks to that, there weren't any problems with Reika. However, it didn't change the fact they were moving slow. Fortunately, though, they had the enhanced map on Nagisa's PDA. They all stay physically and mentally relaxed because they could see the routes they had to take to get to the non-combat area. It was also helpful to see what doors were on the way. Alright, you go check these guys. I'm gonna scout around here a little bit. Be careful, Soichi. I'll leave here to you, Nagisa. Okay. Nagisa gave a wave as Soichi ran out of the non-combat area. They were on a non-combat area on the third floor. They'd come here as their last rest stop before going up to the fourth floor. Hey Nagisa, I'm gonna open these up one after another, okay? Okay, let me know if there's any food, Karin. Got it. Karin opened one of the boxes that were lined up in the non-combat area. She didn't start taking the items out one after another. Sit here, Reika, okay? Nagisa sat Reika down on the sofa in the non-combat area as she gave her a smile. I'm sorry I can't be of any help. I'm a burn, aren't I? It's alright, Reika. We have to it's times like these that we have to help one another. Reika frowned and apologized. But Nagisa's smile didn't fade. And it's thanks to you that we now know that we can't put much stock in the last person. Thanks to that, the group had decided to head up to the top floor. There's no doubting that the only ones we can trust are Soichi and ourselves. So don't say sad things about being a burden, please. It'd be lonely without you, Reika. Nagisa gave a wry smile at the end. She's right. Karin looked out from the box and gave Reika a little wave. Reika stared at the two of them. A bewildered look appeared on her face.
どうしたのレイカちゃん
What's wrong, Reika? Reika didn't answer.
気にしないでいいよ言ってレイカちゃん
You don't have to be so reserved. Go ahead and say it, Reika.
失礼なことを聞くことになりますけど
Forgive me for asking a rude question, but
構わないよねかりんちゃん
I don't mind, right, Karin? Yeah. Karin just waited without taking her head out of the
あ
box.
なた方はどうしてお互いを信じているんです例えばそう今外に出て行っている三剣のこととか心配にならないんですか
Why is it that you guys trust one another? You know, like, for example, aren't you worried about Mitsurugi and all that?
ああそうか怪我して帰ってきたりしたら大変だねついていけばよかったな
Oh, I see. It'd be a big problem if he comes back here hurt. I should have gone with him. After Reika said that, Nagisa stared at the door Soichi had left through. Reika seemed exasperated by that, astonished by that answer for a moment, then quickly shook her head.
そうではなく彼があなた方を裏切るとは思わなかったんですか
No, it's not what I meant. Aren't you worried that he might betray you guys?
宗一君が私たちを
Soichi? Betray us? Now it was Nagisa's turn to be astonished. But she quickly shook her head.
それはないよ宗一君だもの
Of course not. This is Soichi we're talking here. Nagisa then quickly went back to her usual smile.
私は最初疑ってたよ裏切られるんじゃないか殺されるんじゃないかって
At first, I did doubt him. I worried if he would betray me or kill me. Karin finished looking through the first box and returned the lid to where it was. She then got up and turned to Reika and Nagisa.
妹のことで頭がいっぱいでさ
All I could think about was my sister. Karin gave a wry smile as she told Reika about her sister. Reika looked surprised when she heard that.
それなのに彼を信じたの
And even despite that, you trust him?
うん
Yeah.
どうしてなぜそんなことができたの
Why? How can you do that?
あいつさ私が誘そうとしても無抵抗だったんだ妹のところへ帰れ大事な人のところへ帰れそう言って一瞬も迷わずにさせれようとしたんだ
You see, when I tried to stab him, he didn't resist. He just told me to go back to my sister, where the person I love was. He didn't hesitate for a moment as I tried to stab him.
無抵抗
He didn't resist?
宗一が抵抗していたら私はきっとさせたんだと思う
If he resisted, I'm sure I would have stabbed him.
でもあいつが無抵抗だったから寸前のところで思いとどまった
But,
私にはやっぱり言い訳なしには人は殺せなかった
but because he didn't resist, I stopped right before I could. I couldn't kill someone without a reason.
そして妹を助けるためだからこそ人は殺せないって思ったそれを宗一に真っ向から思い知らされた
And I realized that I couldn't kill people just to save my sister. Soichi taught me that. Karin stared at her right palm as she explained. There was the hand that held the knife. The one she pointed at Soichi. All sorts of memories raced through her mind.
人を殺せないんだものあとは信じるしかないじゃない
I can't kill people. All I can do is trust in them, right? Karin then started smiling.
そう決めたらすっごく気が楽になってさ あとは目の前にいた宗一を素直に信じただけ。
Once I decided that, I felt a huge burden lift off my shoulders. All I do after that was just trust Soichi.
無理に信じろとは言わず、私と妹のために刺されてもいいって言ったお人よしのことをさ。
Not trusting blindly without reason, but trusting the guy who said he didn't mind getting stabbed for me and my sister.
かりんちゃん、それはちょっと違うんだな。
That's not exactly right, Karen. Nagisa laughed and winked at Karen.
どういうこと、渚さん。
What do you mean, Nagisa?
宗一くんはお人よしなんかじゃないんだよ。
Soichi didn't
私にもついさっきまではわからなかったんだけど。
Soichi didn't do it because he's a nice person, although I myself didn't realize it until just a little while ago. Nagisa's voice had become a little serious at some point. There was a twinge of sorrow in her eyes.
宗一くんはね、多分大事な人を亡くしてるの。それも多分大好きだった恋人を。
I think Soichi lost someone important to him. Most likely, the girlfriend he loved.
恋人？
Girlfriend?
そうだよ。宗一くんはね、その人を守れなかったってずっと後悔してる。
That's right. You see, Soichi couldn't protect her and regretted it ever since.
だからかりんちゃんの妹のカレンちゃんをどうしても助けたいって気持ちが誰よりもよくわかったの。
That's why I understand better than anyone, Oh, sorry. That's why he understands better than anyone how you felt about wanting to save your sister no matter what it takes. Soichi's action up to this point. And the way he, everything he'd done. Nagisa had seen all of them up close. Just what was it he was she was wondering just what it was he was seeking.
そしてだからかりんちゃんを助けたい。宗一くんは自分が失敗したからかりんちゃんには失敗させたくないと思ってる。
And that's why he wants to help you. Since he failed, he doesn't want you to fail too.
殺されてもいいって思ったのはそのせいなの。
And that's why he didn't mind getting killed.
宗一。
Karen looked at the door Soichi had, left through.
そして宗一くんには約束があるの。亡くなった大事な人と交わした大事な約束が。
And Soichi made a promise, a very important promise, with the one he lost. Soichi had said it, that he'd made a promise.
約束？
Promise? Yeah. Nagisa nodded at Reika.
間違ったことはしないって約束。だから人を殺すなんて問題外。裏切るつもりも毛頭ない。恋人との約束を裏切れないから。
He promised not to do anything wrong. That's why killing people is out of the question for him. That's why he doesn't even entertain the thought of betraying others. Because he can't break his promise to his girlfriend.
この世にいない人との最後のつながりは自分からは捨てられないから。
Because he can't abandon the last tie he has to someone no longer in this world. Tears started forming in Nagisa's eyes.
宗一くんはお人よしじゃない。そんなに強くはない。だけどだからこそ裏切ったりしないわ。この人はね、人は裏切れないほど弱いのよ。
Soichi isn't a nice person. He's not that strong. But that's why he won't betray. Because he's too weak to even do so. Tears ran down Nagisa's cheek without stopping. I was able to point a gun at Monami. I did what Soichi was unable to do. I was strong enough to betray people. And I became good at making excuses for myself. And just like Karin, I wasn't even aware I was making excuses.
だから信じてレイカちゃん、あの人があなたの敵じゃない。そして私たちも。
So have faith, Reika. He's not our enemy, and we're not yours either. Hey, Soichi. Am I living up to your trust? Is a murderer like me allowed to be by your side? Soichi surely believed in Nagisa. That Nagisa wouldn't betray anyone. But Nagisa had a history of betrayal. A bloodstained history of killing her best friend Monami. That's why she was so sad. She was unbearably sad about the fact she wasn't worthy of Soichi and Karin's trust.
わかりました。
I understand. Reika nodded.
私はあなたたちを信じます。
I'll trust you guys.
ありがとう、レイカちゃん。
Thank you, Reika. That, to Nagisa, there was no greater joy in that trust. But at the same time, her soul burned with hellfire. Soichi returned to the room just as Karin was, and Karin and Nagisa took off the lid on the final box. I'm back.
おかえり、宗一くん。
Oh, welcome back, Soichi. When she saw Soichi, Nagisa smiled and ran over to him. What's going on, Nagisa? Did something good happen? Soichi couldn't take his eyes off her strange, mysterious, and cheerful smile. What's going on? Nagisa seems a bit off.
宗一くんがみんなが無事なのが嬉しいだけ。
I'm just glad that you and all of us are okay. Nagisa then took Soichi's hand and headed over to the sofa where Reika was sitting.
見て見て、宗一くん。箱の中からまたあの小さな箱が出てきたよ。
Look at this, Soichi. We found another one of those small boxes in the box. The familiar small box was sitting on Reika's hand. It was software for the PDA. Hold on. Tool. Collar search. Those words are written right in the center of that.
ここに書かれている文字の通りなら首輪が探知できるみたいね。
If these words are right, then it'll allow us to search for collars. Reika tapped on the plastic box with her well-cut nails.
便利なの見つけたでしょう。
Quite a helpful little thing we found, huh? Nagisa turned to Soichi and proudly smiled. Were you the one who found this, Nagisa?
当たり。
Bingo! Did you install it?
レイカちゃんの見してみたよ。レイカちゃんのは壊したりしないじゃない。
Yeah. We tried putting it on Reika's. Because we were not going to be destroying hers, right? You're right. That was a good decision. There was a possibility that Soichi, Karin, and Nagisa would have to have their PDAs destroyed in order to remove Reika's collar. That's why it was only natural they installed this onto Reika's.
見て、Mitsurugi.
Take a look at this, Mitsurugi. The map on Reika's PDA showed several blips. These are... The blips were shown various places. First, there were 5 blips on the 3rd floor they're in right now. Counting the 4 collars the group was wearing, they also had Reika's making. They also had Fumika's making 5. And there were 3 other blips on the 3rd floor. 2 of them were traveling in a group. They were moving fast towards a stairwell upstairs, it seemed. It was probably Tezuka and Takayama. The other one was relatively close to Soichi's group. It was probably Nagasawa. The final blip was on the 4th floor already. Soichi believed there was the one other person who'd opened the shutter and gone in ahead. He probably searches for collars and doesn't show any activate collars that have been made targets of penalties. Reika explained her reasoning. Yeah, it looks that way. This will make it easy for us to get away if we need to, right? Yeah. Soichi nodded, and Nagisa puffed out her chest with pride. Aren't I the best? Yeah, sure. Soichi couldn't help but laugh at her actions. But the peaceful atmosphere is broken a moment later. Karin's serious shout echoed through the room. Surprised, Soichi hastily turned towards Karin. Look at this. Karin's face was pale. Her face was stiff with surprise and fear, and her teeth were chattering. He was surprised by Karin's state, but Soichi was most surprised by what she was holding. It can't be. Soichi's face also paled. Why is something like that here? Karin was holding a metal gun with a black luster. Alright. Just going over the bet system as per usual. Showing how it's changed. So yep, we've got Nagisa at the Fumika at the highest odds since she's already removed her collar. Nagisa at the highest odds for a non-collar removed player, and Karin at the lowest odds. Yeah, no, it's only natural that they have to go through the whole being shocked that they find guns thing, because they're in the same mindset each time. Basically, they don't know to expect guns, so when they see a gun, they react to it. So yeah. I guess in that sense, it's kind of a, in some sense, it's a I guess you could say it's a positive or negative. This game that they have a consistency in showing the reactions, even if we've already seen them several times before on other routes. Whether it's a positive or negative is people's opinion, I suppose. Anyway, let's continue. The hallway echo of a sharp sound, with a loud and sharp sound, clearly different from the sound effects they'd heard in TV and movies. The sound that echoed off the walls over and over again was clearly many times louder than the original sound itself.
ソイチ本物なの？
Soichi, it's real? The group had tested the gun they'd found in the non-combat area. It was clearly different from BB guns. Hold on a second. Even when they looked at the heavy metal gun, they still couldn't believe it. Yeah. Soichi pulled the trigger himself and shot a cannon and a wooden plank behind it. Looked at the plank and the cannon and the plank behind it. But he still couldn't believe that the gun he held was real. This can't be. Is this some kind of mistake? Soichi looked at the smoke rising from the muzzle and the holes in the cannon and the plank. This is for real? It was undoubtedly... It was no toy. Smoke puffed from the muzzle, while there were large holes in the cannon plank.
みつり、このフロアにはこんなものがいくつも置かれているのかしら。
Mitsugi, do you think there are several of these on this floor? Huh?
だってナイフやクロスボウが一つじゃなかったんでしょ？
Well, I mean, there was more than one knife and crossbow, right? Oh, right! Soichi, reeled with surprise when he understood what Reika was getting at. Tezuka also had a knife in addition to Soichi's group. Only Nagasawa had a crossbow, but only he had 3 of them. Yeah, sorry, I need to make an amendment. I misunderstood the previous scene where he fired the crossbows. It wasn't that he had 3 arrows already loaded. He had 3 separate crossbows loaded. That's what it was. Sorry about that. So anyone can get their hands on one of these? And then we could get attacked by these?
ソイチ！
Karin frantically ran over. He was just as close as Reika. So she quickly helped Reika stand. It was his job to help her walk as they moved. It looks like we don't have time to hang around anymore. So she says as he turned to Karin and Reika. And he looked back at the gun again. Karin and Reika's eyes were also drawn to it. A lump of metal of a black luster. A tool for killing. It was in a totally different league from everything else they'd found up to this point. At this rate, we're going to be in big trouble. Nagasawa, Tezuka, Takayama. The three of them would arm themselves with guns and attack in the near future. And the same might apply for the one other player as well. What should we do? We're all just amateurs here at this. Hold on a second. Okay, got it. Keeping an eye on the third floor stairwell had completely backfired on them. They'd given their opponents who'd gone ahead time to arm themselves. Now that they knew the danger ahead of them, the group had to hurry over to places where they could arm themselves. This is terrible. At this rate, we're gonna... Though he'd come for the nervous Karin, Soichi himself was full of anxiety on the inside. Soichi. So Nagisa watched the three of them from a little distance away. Unlike the other three, she was calm, since as a game master, she'd known that this would happen from the start. It's alright. I'll protect everyone. I'll get you your freedom. As long as I don't destroy the system of the game or defy my orders, they won't care what I do. Just then, Nagisa's PDA vibrated. It signified she was receiving a message no one else was. What could it be at a time like this? Hold on a second. Nagisa took out her PDA. Hold on a second. Okay, due to the way the game was structured, no one was suspicious of her checking her PDA. Everyone probably assumed she was just checking the map or something. Though they were all distracted by the gun anyway, so they weren't even looking at her. What? Nagisa instinctively shouted. That was just how surprising the message had been. They want me to do this? Hold on a second. Okay, got it. Kill Soichi Mitsurugi. You have until the end of the game. The way in which you do so does not matter. However, Don't kill him instantly via a surprise attack. The mission Nagisa had been given was simple. Nagisa got missions like these from time to time in order to make the game more exciting. But as she was now, this order was not something Nagisa could easily carry out. The organization who ran this game was fully aware of how much Nagisa had suffered up to this point. As such, they also knew what order would bring her the most amount of suffering as she was now. And more importantly, it was a turn of events that would be most exciting to the customers. Nagisa couldn't betray it. Couldn't betray neither Soichi nor the organization. To Nagisa, who couldn't escape from her best friend's last words of traitor, this mission was like a nightmare. Kill Soichi? The one that I decided to trust and protect? I have to kill someone I care about again with these hands of mine? Just like Manami? Nagisa's body started shaking. Her face was pale. Or do I betray the organization? Even though I've already followed orders like these and killed dozens of people already. Then what happened to Mom, Dad, and those kids? The organization had left deep mental scars on Nagisa's psyche. To Nagisa, the organization was absolute. They controlled her own fate, drove Manami to her death, and played with other people's lives like gods. If she betrayed them, she couldn't even begin to imagine how grave the price would be. It'd be fine if all that happened was Nagisa herself dying. But knowing the organization, they'd kill Nagisa's whole family right in front of her. That's what it meant to betray the organization. Nagisa's eyes turned from the PDA to Soichi. Nagisa was deeply shaken. The chaos in her head and the shaking of her body drove her deeper into a corner. What should I do? Soichi! Nagisa unconsciously sought help from Soichi. She could no longer decide by herself. Precious comrade, or the family she loved. She sought the answer for what she should pick, which was the right answer. Soichi's group had the gun. Nagisa had her orders. They were all deeply disturbed. Neither of them had any composure anymore. They were all desperately seeking answers. And the biggest problem was if an enemy would come along. Normally, Nagisa would have realized that right away. But she totally lost her composure. That was why she completely failed to notice the approaching enemy. Or perhaps they'd given the order of this timing to make that happen. And it was the same for Soichi and the others. They hadn't been they couldn't think straight and thus never imagined that their gunshot would draw an enemy. In the end, it was hard to remain calm in the face of events so far divorced from that of everyday life. So by the time they noticed the enemy approaching, it was already too late. Reika just happened to notice them by coincidence when she looked that way. Just as she shouted that, the enemy fired their gun. 3 shots were fired in quick succession. The muzzle was pointed at Soichi. I win! It was Nagasawa who shot. Apart from Soichi, all over there were women, so he naturally settled on Soichi as his first primary target. However, three bullets that were supposed to hit Soichi pierced Reika's body. When Reika had noticed, the moment Reika noticed Nagasawa, she had embraced Soichi's body and protected him. Damn it! With things not having gone his way, Nagasawa pointing the gun at Soichi and Reika again. That's fine, I'll fill you with lead until you can't protect him anymore. This time he intended to kill Soichi and deliver the finishing blow to Reika. But Reika acted faster. Though she was shot, she pulled out the gun Soichi had put away at his waist and fired at Nagasawa without hesitation. She fired 2 more shots. What was that? Nagasawa dropped his gun from the shock of being hit. Though the first shot missed him, the remaining 2 hit pierced Nagasawa through his shoulder. Damn it! Nagasawa turned his back and dragged his bleeding body away from Soichi's group. Reika turned the gun towards the fleeing Nagasawa and prepared to fire another shot, but then she hit her limit. Reika coughed out a large amount of blood. Reika! Soichi, was still in the same spot as he was, finally caught Reika's body. Mitsurugi, Nagasawa's... Reika forced the gun to Soichi's hand. She bled out. The gun was stained with her warm, vibrant red blood. Nagasawa? It was then that Soichi first realized that the shooter was Nagasawa. And then he saw Nagasawa hastily fleeing. Soichi's getting away! By the time Soichi had Nagasawa in his sights, Nagasawa had already disappeared behind the corner while dragging his leg. The hallway was littered with splatters of his blood. And it was easy to imagine that the wound was not shallow. There was no one else there. Nagasawa had apparently been the only shooter. We want to go after him, Karin. Let's focus on Reika now. Help me out. But Soichi quickly gave up on pursuing him. As he said, the reason was Reika. The wounds she received from Nagasawa were quite serious. Soichi's hand was stained by the vast amount of blood that was pouring out of her, staining her dress. Alright, got it. Soichi carefully lifted Reika into his arms and cautiously carried her down the hallway. Karin quickly gave him a hand. Nagisa, get the first aid kit. Soichi shouted to Nagisa, but Nagisa didn't answer. Nagisa froze when she saw the blood-stained Reika. Reika didn't betray Soichi. She'd shielded him with his body to protect him. Nagisa's mind was in disarray when she saw that. Hold on a second. She felt as though that sight was scolding the part of her that considered betraying Soichi. What should I do? Betray Soichi? Or help them? But can I go without betraying Soichi like Reika did? Can I go without shooting him like I did with Manami? Nagisa didn't trust herself as much as Soichi trusted her. Much like when she killed Manami Asao, she was worried that she was worried that like when she killed Manami Asao, she would say various things only to end up shooting him in the end. Nagisa, get a hold of yourself, please! Soichi snapped Nagisa out of it with a loud voice. Nagisa, get the first aid kit! We should have left it behind the room. Alright. Nagisa quickly tried to make a run for the non-combat area, but the heavily injured Reika stopped her. Don't bother. Treating me won't do any good. Reika then coughed up another lump of blood. But... It's alright. It's okay. Mitsurugi, are you alright? Reika craned her head as she said that. Is she looking for me? But I'm right in front of her.
レイカさん、もう目が。
Reika, your eyes. When Karin also realized that, she crouched down next to Reika. I'm okay. You protected me, so I'm safe.
チューなんて初めてだったからうまくいくかわからなかった。
I see. That was my first time using a gun, so I don't know if I did a good job with it, but I see. So you're safe, are you? Reika! Soichi took Reika's hand and gripped it. But when Reika gripped back, he noticed that his grip was surprisingly weak. And it was growing weaker by the second.
レイカちゃん、しっかり。
Reika, hang in there! Nagisa also came over. Like Soichi, Nagisa took Reika's hand and gripped it tightly.
渚さん、救急箱は今後のために取っておいてください。
Nagisa, please save the first aid kit for when you need it.
レイカちゃん、私の PDA 忘れずに持って行ってかりんちゃんに妹さんに必要だから
Don't forget to take my PDA. Karin needs it for her sister, so...
レイカさん、PDA なんていいからしっかりしてよ。
Forget the PDA, Reika, just hang in there. Karin's voice echoed. But the life just cruelly drained from Reika's body.
剣、一つだけ教えてほしいんだけど。
Hey, Mitsurugi, I want to ask you something. Tell me. Whether because she didn't hear Karin's voice or because she didn't have the composure to answer it, Reika turned to Soichi and talked to him without responding to Karin. What is it?
私のこと信じてくれた。
Did you trust me? Reika's grip grew slightly stronger at that moment.
短い間だったけど、私はあなたたちの仲間だった。
We weren't together long, but was I one of you? Of course you were, Reika. Soichi shouted that in a loud voice as he gripped Reika's hand with all his might. When she heard that, a slight smile appeared on the otherwise suffering Reika's face.
よかった。
I see. Thank goodness. And then she closed her eyes. No, Reika! Open your eyes! The strength left Reika's arms. Her grip grew faint around Soichi's hand. I'm sorry, guys, for going back on ahead without the rest of you. And with those final words, Reika took her last breath and like she was sleeping. You dumbass! Soichi punched the wall next to him. Get back here, Nagasawa! Come on out, Smith! I swear I'm gonna kill you both! If Soichi hadn't been there, then Reika probably wouldn't have been killed. No, wait. No, sorry, I misunderstood that. Even if they were here, Soichi probably wouldn't have killed them. But even so, he couldn't help himself from shouting that. His indignation ran that deep. Do you have any idea what you guys are doing? His shouts echoed off the halls. Just then, an alarm came from Fumika's PDA. It was informing that the survivor count had gone down. But even when they heard that, no one looked at the PDA. Instead, it only angered Soichi even further. God damn it! Soichi punched the wall over and over again. Even when blood gushed out through the cracks in his fist, he didn't try to stop. The one he decided to protect had died. Someone who trusted him had died. And though he was supposed to have protected Reika, she was the one who ended up dying protecting him. As such, Soichi was more angry himself than anything else. Because you let yourself get distracted by the damn guns, Soichi Mitsurugi! What good does that mean if it means someone ends up dying? Soichi! Soichi, stop! Nagisa clung to Soichi's arm as he continued punching the wall. Leave me alone! But Soichi tried to shake Nagisa off. Stop this, Soichi! It wasn't your fault! It's not my fault? Not my fault that Reika died? Soichi pushed Nagisa away. She tripped on her feet and slammed against the wall. Karin shouted. Soichi, get a hold of yourself! Hitting Nagisa's not going to solve anything. Karin's shout, plus the sight of the powerless Nagisa collapsed on the floor, allowed Soichi to finally regain his composure. Nagisa... Oh yeah, I don't have to say that. Karin ran over to the collapsed Nagisa and leaned over her as she checked on her condition. Phew. Thank goodness. Looks like she just lost consciousness. She's okay? Soichi frantically crouched down by Nagisa. Of course it's not okay. I know how you feel, but you shouldn't have done that, Soichi. Sorry.
上辺は渚さんが起きてから直接言って。
For going to apologize to Nagisa's face when she wakes up. Karin was genuinely angry. She normally never looked at Soichi like that. But now she was purely angry at Soichi's actions. And when Soichi realized that it was none other than he himself who had caused her to show that kind of face, he was assaulted by intense self-loathing. Yeah, got it.
総一、深呼吸。
Deep breath, Soichi. Soichi did as Karin said and breathed in and out heavily over and over again. When he did, the intense emotions whirling around in his heart eased a little.
大丈夫？
You okay? Karin looked at Soichi after he finished breathing. Yeah, thanks, Karin. It was at this point that Soichi was genuinely glad that he wasn't alone. Had he been all by himself, he probably would have gone back to the way he was several months ago and collapsed on his knees.
よし、冷静になったらまずは渚さんを部屋に運ぼう。
Okay, now you've calmed down. Let's take Nagisa to her room first. Okay. Soichi nodded as he gave Reika a glance. I'm sorry, Reika. I'll come for you soon. Karin, could you open the door?
了解。
Roger that. Karin got to her feet and headed over to the door a few meters away. It was the door to the non-combat area. There was no safer place than this to take her. Okay. Once he saw that Karin had opened the door, Soichi reached out for Nagisa's unconscious body. He then tried to lift her up in the so-called princess style. Man, she's heavier than I thought. Soichi tried to lift her, only to be surprised at how heavy she was. Nagisa was not particularly tall, and she was generally as slender as most girls. She couldn't have weighed any more than 50 kilograms. She had a lot of layers of clothes on, but that shouldn't have amounted to any more than... There's no way that could have been amounted to more than several kilograms. And yet the woman Soichi tried to lift was about as heavy as an adult man. Why is she so heavy? Just as Soichi was wondering that, he felt a strange sensation from around the left thigh, from Nagisa's left leg, which his hand was on when he was trying to lift her. What's this? It was oddly hard. And it was big at that. Oh, hold on a second. I'll be right back. Probably in about 2 to 3 minutes. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. So just to recap, so I know it's been a few minutes. Soichi tried to lift Nagisa and he finds she's heavier than expected, and he found some weird, hard, big, something hard and something hard by her leg. Something metal or plastic was in her skirt. Was in her skirt for some reason. Is this why she's so heavy? Soichi lowered Nagisa back on the floor. He didn't need to carry the heavy object with her. So Soichi plans to remove the object in her skirt.
手伝おうか？
Need some help? No, I'm okay. I'm just getting rid of some unnecessary baggage. You just keep the door open.
わかった。
Okay, got it. Sorry, Nagisa. I have to pull up your skirt a little. Sorry about this. Soichi apologized in his head as he rolled up Nagisa's skirt. Huh? For a moment, Soichi's thoughts ground to a halt. He didn't understand what he saw. It just clashed so much with Nagisa's normal image. What in the world is this? There were several electronic devices in Nagisa's skirt. Several devices hung down from a harness strapped to her leg. And several cables pulling out of it. I was curious just to give you a better view of the devices. A radio? And is this a camera? Or something? There were generally 3 objects in her skirt. The first was an expensive video camera. But it wasn't the kind you normally found for family use. This was a pro's camera. Next was an antenna with a box with an antenna attached to it. It was about as big as the camera, and the main switches on it. The visual and audio cables for the camera were connected to that. Yeah, video and audio. The visual and audio cables for the camera were attached to that device. The third was a large-scale battery. This one was rather large and reached from her hip to her back. Its placement was likely so it wouldn't interfere with her movements. And this large battery was connected to the first 2 devices. What in the world is this? So are the images captured by the camera sent somewhere via this radio? Transmitter, sorry, not radio. Transmitter? And this battery is to keep them both powered for long periods? The only person who can answer Soichi's question was currently knocked out. Should I keep carrying her? I don't know what's going on, but... Soichi puts Nagisa's skirt back down. Then he lifted Nagisa's body. But what's she filming? And for what purpose? His questions were limitless. But he wouldn't know the answers until he asked Nagisa. As things stood now, there's nothing he could do. Karin, I'm coming now.
Hiya.
Right on. So Soichi swallowed his questions and brought Nagisa into the non-combat area. When Nagisa woke up, The scenery changed from the hallway to the non-combat area. What happened to me? She remembered what happened just before. Her order, Nagasawa's attack, Reika's death, and Soichi's rage. Oh yeah, that's right. What about Soichi? So Nagisa looked around and quickly found the people she was looking for. The person she was looking for sitting right next to her.
宗一君
You okay now, Nagisa? Yeah. Nagisa nodded as she sat up. You just need to keep lying down. You might have hit your head. Oh, okay. When Soichi stopped there, Nagisa obediently laid back down.
私どれぐらい気絶してた
How long was I out? About 30 minutes. As he said that, Soichi glanced deeper into the room and called out to the person there. Karin! Nagisa's awake!
本当
Really? Karin's voice came from the kitchen in the non-combat area.
じゃあご飯3人分にするね
I'll make food for 3. Thanks. Karin was preparing food there. Now that she knew that Nagisa was awake, her voice sounded much more cheerful.
かりんちゃんも無事なんだね
So Karin's safe too, huh? Yeah. Look, I'm really sorry about snapping like that. Soichi bowed his head to Nagisa.
あそこで怒るのは当たり前だよ宗一君
No, it was only natural for you to be angry, Soichi. Nagisa smiled quietly. Nagisa, does it hurt anywhere in particular, or do you feel strange anywhere?
大丈夫心配いらないよ
I'm okay. No need to worry about me. I see. Soichi felt a wave of relief at Nagisa's smile. But his face quickly grew serious again. He had something he needed to ask her. So hey, Nagisa. Nagisa had never seen Soichi like this before. He looked a bit guilty, troubled, and sad. It wasn't the face she loved seeing on Soichi. I don't really know how to ask this, but... And so Nagisa understood. Soichi had finally found out.
いいよ宗一君何でも聞いて
It's okay, Soichi. Ask whatever you'd like. I thought I'd be more shaken when Soichi found out, but surprisingly, it's not like that at all. Nagisa's was calm. Just who are you? I knew it. Soichi's words were exactly what Nagisa had expected. Just what was that? Those devices under your clothes. Soichi carefully spoke, making sure not to let his voice get too loud of excitement or agitation. Depending on what you heard, you might not have to tell Karin. No, because, depending on details, it might be something Karin didn't need to hear.
そっか見たんだね宗一君
I see. So you saw it, Soichi? Oh wait, sorry, forgot to save and check the stat systems updates. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry, but when I tried to carry you, you're so heavy, so I...
女の子の体重じゃないよねこれじゃ。
So it wasn't kind of a woman's weight, huh? Nagisa quietly smiled. She wasn't shaken up. When Soichi saw that, he began to hold out hope that maybe he was just... he was wrong about her. That the device he saw in her was just some sort of hobby of hers. It didn't have any sort of particular meaning.
宗一君、私はね。
Soichi, you see, the thing is about me... But Nagisa's answer was different.
宗一君たちを誘拐した連中の一味なの。
I'm in league with the people who kidnapped you guys. It was the worst answer Soichi had imagined. What? So when Soichi heard that, he felt like he would collapse to the floor with shock. No, wait! Then the device in your clothes are... Soichi desperately tried to keep his voice down from surprise.
これはね、宗一君たちの映像と音声を記録するためのもの。私の仕事はね、宗一君たちを追い続けるカメラマンなの。
These are devices for recording your hold on. These are devices for visually and getting visual and audio recordings from you. You see, my job is to be a cameraman that follows you guys. A cameraman?
そう、カメラはここ。
That's right. The camera's here. Nagisa said that as she touched the ribbons on her head. When he looked closely, he saw that there was a small scale metal lens attached to her large ribbon. A cord extended from the lens through her hair, hidden under her hair, and reached out into her clothes.
マイクは
And here's the mic. Next, she touched the decoration on her chest. There was a mic built into the inner side of her
この
clothes.
格好をしていればカメラのマイクも隠しやすいでしょ。それにぼーっとした女の子ならどこを見ていても怪しまれない。
If we wear clothes like these, then it's easy to hide a camera and mic, you see? And if I play the part of a spacey girl, then no one gets suspicious.
何もかもが宗一君たちに内緒で撮影を続けるための仕掛けなの。
It was all set up so I could film you guys in secret. No way! Soichi was deeply surprised. But at the same time, part of him understood. Occasionally, he noticed she'd acted she'd been strangely athletic. Furthermore, she was supposed to have never touched a PDA. Yet she caught onto it quickly and even guided them in operating it. And several times at that. Based on that alone, Soichi had no choice but to accept her confession. But I don't understand. Why are you doing this, Nagisa? And what purpose is there in filming us anyway?
私もね、最初は宗一君たちと同じで、これに強制的に参加させられたの。もう何年も前のことだけど。
At first, I was also forced to participate in this, just like you and the others. I wonder I can't even remember how many years it's been. In contrast to Soichi's lack of composure, Nagisa started talking calmly.
私の家は借金まみれで、ちょうど今のかりんちゃんと同じように、もっとたくさんのお金が必要だった。
My family was saddled with debt, and just like Karin right now, no, even more than Karin, I need a lot of money. Family, and that's why you...
一度のゲームじゃ足りなかった。家族を救うにはもっとたくさんのお金が必要だったから。だから私は。
Yes, one game wasn't enough. I need more money to save my family. That's why I... Nagisa spoke. Then her gaze moved away from Soichi.
だから私は彼らの仲間になった。高額の報酬と引き換えに。
Hold on a second. That's why I became one of them, in exchange for large sums. Soichi... Nagisa couldn't say that while looking at Soichi. No way. Nagisa sold her soul to the devil to protect her family? But Soichi understood well how that felt. If it meant protecting which you held dear, it wouldn't be... Selling your soul to the devil wouldn't be strange at all. Soichi himself might very well do the same thing if he could go back, if he could fix his past mistakes. Much like he was trying to do with Karin. And why are they doing this? And why do you need to film us?
ショーだからよ。
Because this is a show. That word made Soichi more bewildered than anything else. A show? You mean like the kind that you watch?
そうよ、宗一君。これは人を争わせてその姿を見て楽しむ大掛かりなショーなのよ。
That's right, Soichi. This is all one big show that for entertainment of pitting people against each other. Those words were beyond shocking. Even so, Nagisa's voice was calm. No way. This is a show? Nagisa got up, ignoring Soichi's surprise. Then she looked at Soichi dead on.
そうよ。お金が使い切れないほどの金持ちたちが集まって始めたカジノ。その中で一番人気のあるコンテンツ。
That's right. It started as a casino, for those with far too much money on their hands. No, sorry, it started as a casino where those with far too much money on their hands gathered. And this is the most popular attraction of them all there.
だから撮影する必要があるのよ。監視カメラの映像だけじゃ足りないから。
That's why we need to film you. Because surveillance cameras alone aren't enough. Just simple surveillance cameras could indeed do the filming. Hold on. Okay, but if you wanted, footage of a sense of presence, those cameras wouldn't be enough.
私がここにいるのはね、あなたの人気が高かったから。
The reason I'm here is because you're popular.
あなたに大金をかけ、あなたの映像を望む人たちがカジノにたくさんいるから。だから私はあなたの撮影をしているの。
Because there's a lot of people in the casino who have bet a lot of money on you, and wish to see footage of you. That's why I'm filming you. It worked much like sports broadcasting. If you wanted to just film the match, you could just have a single camera in a high location. That wouldn't be enough for show business. You need cameras that could show the faces of the athletes each of the athletes that attracted attention.
だから宗一君、私はあなたの仲間なんかじゃないの。
So that's why I'm not one of you, Soichi. Nagisa's voice was as serene as always. And she bore a soft smile.
レイカちゃんも多くの人を死に追いやったあなたの敵なの。
I'm your enemy who has driven many people like Reika to their deaths. And yet there were tears pouring out of her eyes. They quickly trailed down her cheeks.
そして宗一君、今はあなたを殺せって命令を受けている。私を信用している宗一君を襲って殺せって、そういう映像が見たいって。
And I've received an order to kill you. Because they want to see footage of you getting attacked and killed by the person you trust. Her appearance was incredibly unbalanced at that moment. Her voice and smile were peaceful, and yet tears trailed down her cheeks. Is Nagisa suffering? She was so sad she couldn't help herself. All she could do was smile. Perhaps smiling was the only way to overcome the sorrow and despair. Once he saw Nagisa like that, the confusion in Soichi's head oddly began to settle down.
私が彼らを裏切れば、真っ先に家族が制裁を受ける。私はあなたを殺すしかない。
If I betray them, they'll punish my family right away. So all I can do is kill you.
これまで何度もやってきたように、仲間を裏切って殺すの。お金のために。
I'll betray and kill my comrades, just like I have many times up till now, for the money. But even so, it's a fact that Nagisa's crying. Isn't that right? Before he knew it, Soichi's mind had regained its calm. And oddly enough, he didn't sense that she was an enemy. The tears she shed and the appearance she'd shown up till now took that sensation away from him. Hold on a second. Okay, I think I got it. Nagisa cooking happily. The proud smile she would make. The teary look she'd give when she was worried about Soichi. When she puffed out her cheeks in anger. The way she interacted with Karin like they were sisters. Soichi couldn't bring himself to believe that it had all been an act. I know I'm probably being naive, but that's what I think. Maybe it was all an act. Perhaps all of it had been employed so she could save Soichi's group, and the tears she was shedding now were all fake. That possibility was plausible, of course. What if she really is crying tonight? But even knowing all that, Soichi trusted the person known as Nagisa. And by chance, he didn't want to hurt the woman known as Nagisa. It's alright, Nagisa, really. He couldn't get his collar off, so his life was doomed from the start. And he even once offered his life up to Karin. He didn't have a reason to stay in the world any longer. If Nagisa needed Soichi's life to help her family, then he had no reason to refuse. Nagisa's voice had been peaceful up to this point. Yet for the first time, it was greatly shaken. Nagisa expected Soichi to shout at her. For him to call her a traitor. But Soichi smiled. The same way he had smiled at her up till now. The smile that Nagisa had found herself bewitched by over time. You weren't told to kill Karin too, right? Well, yes, but Soichi... Then it's alright, Nagisa. It's okay. On one hand, Nagisa grew more and more shaken up. But in contrast, Soichi was calm. It was the exact opposite of how the conversation had begun. To be honest, I was scared of dying a pointless death. If it came down to it, I don't mind dying for someone I know. Soichi would hate dying a pointless death. Even though he couldn't get his collar off, in the end, it wasn't like he had some reason for it. But if Nagisa's family was on the line, that changed things. It wouldn't be meaningless at all. That fact brought Soichi's part peace. If it'll help you out in the end, then I'm not scared at all. Since he couldn't remove his collar, Soichi was prepared to die. Hold on. Alright, but though he wasn't scared of death, he was concerned about the one who killed him. After he'd seen the horrible ways Urashiyama and the other girl died, he couldn't get rid. He was haunted by anxiety. Getting killed by prolonged suffering by some sort of mechanism like them. Everyone, not just Soichi, was scared of that. And besides, I'm lonely when I'm all by myself, you know? This was perhaps the most important thing to Soichi. If he were to be killed by the building systems, then Soichi would probably go off on his own so he didn't get his comrades caught up in it. And so he would leave this world without anyone by his side. But if it was Nagisa who killed him, then he would at least have Nagisa with him. Soichi, you don't think I'm lying just to kill you? It's all just an act to make the show more exciting? Forgetting to wipe her tears, Nagisa grabbed Soichi and gripped him tightly. Even if that's true, it's not as bad as it is now. Besides, you're not the kind of person who would do that, right? You can do that, right? Soichi gripped Nagisa's hand. That's not true. I've killed dozens of people. I've done plenty of horrible things you can't even begin to imagine. You have no idea what a horrible person I am. Even if you tell me that, all I know is the kind and gentle you. But I tried to betray and kill you. I'm trying to betray and kill you. Nagisa gripped Soichi's arm as she continued crying. It's what I want, so it won't be betrayal at all. You won't be betraying me, Nagisa. We'll always be allies. As he said that, Soichi gave Nagisa a light tap on the shoulder of his free hand. So you don't need to worry about anything at all. and then that happened.
宗一君
Just then, Nagisa threw herself at Soichi. She wrapped her arms around his neck and cried loudly.
どうして信じるの親友でさえこの手にかけた私をどうして
Why do you trust me? Why do you trust someone like me who killed her own best friend with her own hands? Her teary voice was full of many emotions. Regret, sorrow, despair. Not just that, many other negative emotions were there as well. That was Nagisa's heart. That was the heart of the person who kept suffering, unable to forgive herself. Well, not even I'm sure why. Soichi embraced Nagisa. He then stroked her back. He wanted to stop her from shaking. He wanted to forgive the woman who couldn't forgive herself.
あなたには大事なものはないの帰りたい場所はないの待っている人は
Do you have nothing important? Nowhere you want to go back to? No one waiting for you? I used to just a little while ago. It was only at that point Soichi grew sad. I knew it, Soichi. At this point, Nagisa was sure her guess hadn't been off the mark. But right now, I don't have anything as important as you or Karin do. That's why I'm okay with this. Soichi didn't hesitate. As long as he gets Nagisa and Karin out alive, he can wish for nothing more. But the people watching this are definitely enjoying this. Soichi couldn't help but regret that point.
ごめんね宗一君取り乱したりして
Sorry for losing my composure like that, Soichi. It took a little while for Nagisa to stop crying. It's not often I get a touch of girls, so hey, I got something out of it.
バカね
You fool. Nagisa tightened her grip around Soichi.
宗一君はまだ私を仲間だと思ってくれてる
Do you still think of me as one of you? Nagisa said that and looked into Soichi's eyes. Her large eyes pleaded as though they were trying to say something to him. I already told you you were, didn't I?
女ってね確信できるまで何度でも言葉にしてもらわないと不安になる生き物なのよ
Don't you know? Women are creatures who get anxious until they get satisfied after hearing the same thing over and over again. Nagisa gave a wry smile. But her eyes kept looking at Soichi. You're one of us, Nagisa.
ありがとう宗一君
Thank you, Soichi. Nagisa looked up, tears shining in the corners of her eyes. These aren't tears of sorrow, are they? That was why Soichi decided not to mind her tears.
それで宗一君これからどうしたらいいと思う
So what do you think we should do now, Soichi? Let me think. Soichi thought for a bit as he continued embracing Nagisa. I think we should keep going as we are. Oh, but... Nagisa, did you get any orders aside from the ones about me?
宗一君のこと以外は撮影しか命じられてないわ。それ以外は何をやってもいいことになっている。
Apart from that and filming you, nothing else. They don't mind what I do, apart from that. So you can do anything?
誰かに肩入れすることだって許されてる。私たちゲームマスターのそういった自由行動もショーの一部として扱われているの。
Yes. I'm allowed to ally with whoever. The actions us game masters can take freely are treated as a part of the show. And because they knew she was supporting me, they ordered her to kill me because they wanted to see her reaction. I see. What kind of sick bastards thought that thing up? Soichi occasionally almost felt like throwing up.
例外はショーの体裁を壊すような行為。これだけはペナルティの対象になるわ。
The exceptions are actions that could dismantle the system of the show. Only then will I be treated as receive a penalty and die. So even though she's on their side, they're toying with Nagisa just as much as they are with us.
どうしたの、宗一君。
What's wrong, Soichi? Nagisa looked at Soichi with concern. It was then that Soichi realized he had quite a large frown on his face. I was just thinking a little. Sorry about that.
そう。
Really? But the worry didn't fade from Nagisa's face. With nothing else to do, Soichi just continued the conversation. Anyway, to get back on topic, if you're free to do whatever, then I think we can remove Karin's collar. Then we'll remove your collar, and at the end, Soichi didn't say the last part. Nagisa didn't say a word either. She just gripped Soichi tighter yet again. Neither of them touched on that topic. Hold on. And yet, in spite of that, the two of them were drawn to each other's presence.
おっと、これはお邪魔だったか。
Oops, am I being a third wheel here? Just then, Karin came over towards them carrying food. Judging from her expression, she hadn't noticed the conversation Soichi and Nagisa had been having in secret. Hey, hold on. Though she hadn't realized what they were talking about. Karin gave a knowing smirk as Soichi and Nagisa embraced each other.
意外と手が早いですな、三剣宗一君。
Damn, you move faster than I thought, Soichi Mitsurugi. You idiot. It's nothing like that at all. Soichi smiled wryly as he let go of Nagisa.
本当に？
Really now? Though she was a bit rough around the edges, Karin was also a girl. She was interested in stuff like this.
本当よ。
Yes, really. Perhaps Karin's smile had calmed her down, as Nagisa also formed a smile of her own and wiped her tears.
出したのは私の方だから。
I was the one who made the first move. Just as Soichi was reeling in surprise from Nagisa's words, he turned to her and saw her put a finger to her lips. Wait, hold on, sorry. Sorry, I misread that completely. And then, just as Soichi reeled in surprise and turned his face towards Nagisa, she pressed her lips against his. Soichi's eyes went wide. Soichi and Karin's eyes went wide with surprise. Soichi was so surprised that both his breathing and thoughts ground to a complete halt.
子供にはちょっと刺激が強かったかな。
Is that a bit exciting for you kids? Then Nagisa just smiled, grinned at the two of them.
よーし、4回到着っと。
Okay, just saving and going to bed. In case, I guess if people are wondering, I'm planning to go 3 hours instead of 2 this time, so this is gonna be longer than usual. So, just in case you didn't know that, I wanted to let you know right now. Probably should have said that at the beginning, honestly. Okay, so Alright, here we finally made it to the 4th floor. Don't go too far ahead, Karin. Just because our callers aren't reacting doesn't mean you should let your guard
は
down.
いよ。
You got it. After Soichi scolded her, Karin quickly came back from when she looked down the hall.
でも総一、なかなか追いつかないね。
Well, Soichi, we're just not catching up to them, are we? Yeah. It'd be a big help if we could, though. Soichi's group was in pursuit of the last person they hadn't met yet.
総一くん、
Soichi. Oh, I didn't need to say that. Nagisa whispered. What is it?
多分十中八九その一人はもう一人のゲームマスターよ。
I'm pretty sure that last person is the other game master. She kept her voice low enough so Karin couldn't hear. Are you sure about that?
その人と直接同じゲームに参加したのはこれが初めてだけど、プロフィールを見た限りではやられているとは思えないし。
This is the first time I'm directly participating in the same game as her. From what I saw from her profile, I can't imagine she's been killed. Which means that chasing her won't be do any good. Soichi's voice also low. He's being careful to make sure only Nagisa could hear.
多分私たちと協力はしない。このまま私たちを勝たせてしまうと面白いショーは作れないもの。
She probably won't work together with us. If she lets us win like this, then it won't make for an interesting show. The game masters Nagisa referred to were the staff who, for managing the game. For observing and managing the game. People who worked for, who were in charge of the game were mixed in with the 13 participants from the start. Even if they gave them rules and weapons, it wasn't that easy to make people start killing each other. Unlike what you saw in fiction, people normally didn't start acting just based on rules alone. Soichi's group at Soichi Karen's been just like that at the start. So there was a need to make the participants believe it no matter what. That was half of a game master's role. According to Nagisa, Urashiyama's death was due to a game master. To make the remaining people understand through a rule breaker's death that the game was all too real. But if no unfortunate coincidences happened, and no one broke the rules, people would just simply pass the time without realizing it was for real. So in the case that a certain amount of time passed without anyone breaking the rules, the game master would kill the most unpopular participant of the casino. And the game master's other job was to ensure game balance. In case certain members were at too big of an advantage, the game master would interfere with the game to ensure that it wouldn't end in a boring one-side slaughter. That was what extra games were for in most cases. In general, there were usually 2 game masters per game. One of them was the game master who was in charge of managing the game. And the other one was a submaster whose main job, like Nagisa, whose main job was filming. The submaster in general rarely received contact from HQ and just pretended to be one of the participants as they filmed them. They would be told who to film before the start of the game, and then start near that person. But the submaster had other important jobs aside from filming. Their main one was to take over for the game master, if they ever to take over for managing the game as the game master if the main game master ran into some sort of accident. In a situation like that, she'd receive a message from HQ and be told to stop filming and begin acting as the game master. But even now, when Soichi's group had made it to the 4th floor, she hadn't received orders to take over managing the game. So Tezuka, Takayama, and Nagasawa aren't the game master? That's right. The game master this time is a woman about 40. Anyway, so long as their rights haven't been transferred to me, that means there's a very high possibility that the remaining person is the game master. The only exception would be if the managers decide that no further management was necessary. In this case, the submaster wouldn't receive orders, even if something happened, even if the game master was rendered inoperable. That was generally only a last resort. But that was generally happening towards the end. When they were, no, I didn't think that would happen when they were still in the central floors. They might be concocting some sort of extra game, and that would be in danger if we keep chasing them. Danger, huh? Right after they finished saying that, Karin came over to them. What have you guys been whispering about? Grown-up business. It's a secret for you, not Karin. Nagisa then winked as she blew Soichi a kiss. Damn, talk about bold. Once Karin began to smile, Soichi and Nagisa looked at each other. It was only at that moment they made serious faces. For anyway, Soichi, we should think about those other three people who are. What we're going to do about the other three who are chasing us. Nagisa spoke in a cheerful voice as she showed Reika's PDA to him. It displayed 3 blips that were trying to pursue Soichi's group. So we should be focusing on the danger in front of us instead of the danger far ahead of us, huh? You're right. Soichi turned to Nagisa and nodded. Take a look at this, Takayama. What is it? Tezuka beckoned to Takayama from ahead. Tezuka laughed as he looked at an abandoned first aid kit still opened and blood-stained towels. The blood in the towels was still wet. It seems someone had been treating themselves there just a little while ago. Looks like Nagasawa really did get hurt. Tezuka and Takayama had been pursuing not Soichi's group, but Nagasawa. Since Nagasawa was following Soichi's group, as a result, it appeared that everyone was following Soichi's group. But at the present, Tezuka and Takayama weren't pursuing them. I mean, things have gone as you hoped for, Tezuka? I can't stop myself from laughing. They'd almost jumped into the fight between Soichi's group and Nagasawa, but Tezuka suggested that they leave them be. Takayama agreed, and so they just let Nagasawa and Soichi's groups fight it out without interfering. Then they resumed the pursuit when Soichi and Nagasawa began moving again.
長沢の首輪を作動させれば、それで作動した首輪は4つ目だ。もうすぐこの祝いのしい首輪ともおさらばだ。
Once they activate Nagasawa's collar, that'll make 4 activate collars. Then they'll soon be able to say goodbye to this damn collar. Urashiyama, the mysterious girl, and Reika. Up till now, Tezuka had activated 3. Had made 3 collars activate. If he could activate make 2 more activate, then he can remove his collar. Once you kill Nagasawa, once you kill Nagasawa, then that'll be the perfect time for you to kill me.
あんたがそんなに簡単に俺に殺される玉かよ。あんたを殺すより、まだ残りの全員を皆殺しにする方が賞賛が高そうだ。
That's a harsh joke there, boss man. I'm not the sort of guy who can kill you that easily. A better chance of winning if I go after the remaining players, if I slaughter the remaining players instead of you. Tezuka talked as though they already had this in the bag. I wonder about that. But Takayama's face didn't change at Tezuka's words. He just continued to watch Tezuka laughing with calm eyes.
ほらな大将、あんたは少しも油断してくれね。
Come on, boss man, just lighten up a little, will ya? What I'm really scared is how you can look at me so calmly, Takayama. Though he wouldn't say it, deep down, Tezuka was glad the person in front of him wasn't his enemy. Soichi, this is bad. Naisa's face went pale as she looked at Reika's PDA. One of the 3 blips behind us has disappeared. Really? Yeah. And I don't know why, but at the same time, the person who should have been in front of us also disappeared. Which means the 2 of them died? When Soichi thought that, the alarm on Fumika's PDA went off. Soichi took out the PDA to find that the survivor counter dropped by 1. Remaining survivors, 7. And that means Soichi couldn't hide his surprise. Naisa, one of them has died. Are you sure that 2 collars disappeared? The software installed on Reika's PDA showed the current locations of the collars. And even though 2 had disappeared, the survivor count only dropped by 1. If 2 collars had been activated, that should have meant there were 6 survivors. It all makes sense if the one who died was Nagasawa, who'd been injured. But they couldn't understand who the what happened to the one in front of them.
どういうことかな。一人は首輪を外して自分で首輪を壊したってこと？
I wonder what's going on. Maybe someone removed their collar and then destroyed it? Karen asked this, but Soichi was unable to answer her. If they just removed their collar, and still should have been showing the collar on the PDA, just like the Fumika's was still on. But the blip had disappeared from the PDA. Which meant that it was possible that the collar had been destroyed, but... Soichi looked at Nagisa for answers, but she shook her head with a serious look on her face. It's not easy to just remove a collar and destroy it, is it? No, sorry. It's not easy to remove and destroy a collar just like that. That was what the look on Nagisa's face seemed to be telling Soichi.
先に首輪を外したい気もするけど、ちょっとここで見張っていた方がいい気がするわね。
I would have liked to get my collar off first. But it feels better to just watch from here. Go looked at the monitors in the central control room and smiled after having just arrived there. The monitors showed the other 6 survivors apart from Goda. They were slowly but surely beginning to arm themselves in ways that allow them to easily kill others. As long as she handled the upcoming events carefully, then she could expect a fierce battle to break out.
手塚さんは長澤君の首輪を作動させたんだから、あと一つでクリアか。
Tezuka activated Nagasawa's collar, so he'll clear his condition if he just does one
気を
more.
つけないと、ろくに宗一君たちと戦わずに終わっちゃいそうね。要注意だわ。
If I'm not careful, he might be able to end this without fighting Soichi's group. I have to watch out for that. Go was carefully monitoring Tezuka's moves. Depending on how he acted, the 2 main groups might end without coming into conflict with each other. To a game master like her, whose job was to ensure that to answer the wishes of the customers expecting exciting events, that was not an ideal outcome.
長澤君の PDA が手塚さんたちに渡ったんだから、宗一君たちの追跡に関しては問題ないわね。
Tezuka's group has Nagasawa's PDA, so they shouldn't have any problem following Soichi's group.
ちょっと強力な武器を渡してみましょうかね。そうすれば安易に戦ってくれるだろうし。
Maybe we should try passing them on a powerful weapon. Then that'll make it easier for them to fight. Goda excitedly typed at the console on the console like she was playing a piano. Those smooth movements without any hesitation showed just how passionate she was about her work.
4階の武器だけじゃちょっと押しが弱いか。
Weapons on the 4th floor are a little too weak to push for a conflict. A list of the weapons on the 4th floor were displayed on the monitor in front of her. Goda frowned with displeasure as she looked at
も
them.
うちょっといいものを用意してあげないと手塚さんと高山さんがかわいそうよね。よし。
I feel bad for Tezuka and Takayama if I didn't prepare something a little more powerful. Alright then. Goda's fingers dance across the console again.
ここにある予備の武器はと
Let's see, what spare weapons do we have here? There was a weapons storehouse in the central control room. Goda planned to search through it to find a weapon for Tezuka and Takayama.
スナイパーライフル。これなんかいいわね。戦闘禁止エリアの外からでも余裕で攻撃できそうだし、宗一君たちを驚かすにはいいかもね。
A sniper rifle. This should be good. It should allow them to attack even outside of a non-combat area. Also be a good way to surprise Soichi's group. So, Goda tapped on a picture of a large rifle on the list.
待っててね、二人とも。もう少ししたらいいおもちゃをあげるから。
Just hold on, you two. In just a little while, I'll give you a good toy. Hold on. She showed nothing but sheer glee on her face. There was no sign of her, displaying any, self-aware, any sort of reflection on the fact that she was, driving other people to kill others, or that she was being forced to do it. But strictly speaking, it wasn't that she wasn't aware of it. Mayumi Goda wasn't that thick-headed. She was simply used to it, that was all. Just as Soichi shouldered the rifle he found in this room, Karin, who'd been looking at Reika's PDA, shook his hand.
ソイチ、やっぱりあいつらまっすぐに私たちを追ってきてる。こ
So
のままだとすぐに追いつかれるよ。
Soichi, they're heading right for us, as I thought. At this rate, they'll catch right up to us.
ソイチ君。
Nagisa picked up a submachine gun lying in the room and ran over. There was no hesitation in the way she handled it. When he saw that, Soichi was reminded again that she really was a game master. In the end, we're gonna have to encounter those two, huh? Takayama and Tezuka were the only ones that could detect on their PDAs. The blip that appeared to be Nagasawa and the blip of the person ahead of them disappeared, but only one survivor had fallen. They didn't know which one of them had died. But the fact they could only detect two people meant without a doubt that both Takayama's group and Soichi's group had no other choices.
でもソイチ、あの二人って。
But Soichi, those two are dangerous. It was probably Tezuka who'd killed the burned girl. It was also extremely likely that he'd come across Nagasawa and killed him. Karin was worried that they had no more room to negotiate with them.
向こうの方が早いわそいつくん。逃げ切るのは無理よ。
They're moving faster than us, Soichi. We can't shake them. Soichi's group had been aiming for the 5th floor stairwell. They were still a ways off, and there were no non-combat areas on the way. But even if they did come across a non-combat area, they couldn't just go into it. They could just stand guard at the exit, and eventually the 4th floor would become a forbidden area. Even though they wouldn't be killed right away, it wouldn't be a very smart choice. This means we have no choice but to fight back.
そうなるわね。
It looks that way.
戦うの？
Are we gonna fight? Soichi and Nagisa conversed with serious looks on their faces. Karin looked up at them nervously.
こっちにはそのつもりはないけど、向こうがそう考えてくれるかどうかわからない。準備だけはしないと。
That's not our intention, but we have no idea what they're thinking. We need to prepare ourselves. Yeah, I'd rather not be at the side of a defenseless one-sided slaughter. Soichi couldn't stop himself from sweating. Nagisa, there's a relatively large room up ahead. If we're gonna come across them anyway, let's go there.
後ろに逃げ道もあるし、いざとなればそこから逃げましょう。
Yes, there's a way out in the back, so if it comes down to it, we can escape from there.
この分だと、あと30分もしないで来るよ。
At this rate, it won't be any longer than another half hour. Karin looked at the PDA. Got it. Hurry up, guys. And so Soichi's group hastily ran to their destination. The room was big and barren with the exception of some furniture. It was impossible to hide and sneak one's way out of there. Hold on. Okay, so, it's actually gonna be a little while off until the end of the next scene. It could be like another hour or so, so I think it might be better just to, stop right here and leave it for next time, though this might be a kind of a cliffhanger. I'll leave you guys to decide. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so I'm just going to end the stream here. So yeah, we're a bit of a cliffhanger right now, but yeah, right now it's just down to Soichi's group, and yeah, there's no real decent stopping point. This right here, I think, wouldn't be for a little while at least. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm just gonna stop here. So yeah, we're gonna see how this cliffhanger gets resolved next time. So until then, I'll see you all later.